delighted to welcome Sarah Cunningham, Vice President at MasterCard Dublin Tech Hub. Sarah's obviously Vice President of MasterCard Dublin's Technology Hub. Sarah Cunningham is focused on optimising the strategy for the company's only Europe-based technology hub, which has over 700 employees, primarily technologists, dedicated to global projects shaping the future of payments. Sarah is a passionate diversity, inclusion and advocate, and has over 20 years experience across strategy, marketing, innovation at Google, Barclays, BT Retail UK, Capgemini and Accenture. Sarah, you're very welcome this morning. You come with a lot of experience and we're looking forward to hearing from you. Sarah, I just think you're on mute. If you can just check.
My apologies, what a start. Innovation Forum and I forget to unmute. So listen, thank you very much and apologies for the length of my bio. This is a really, really impressive event. So I feel honoured to be here and to have the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about our European Tech Hub. So I don't know if you can see my slides, if the slides are up or not, but brilliant. Okay, so I'll start away. So as you said, I lead MasterCard's European Technology Hub. We're so proud that Dublin and specifically Sandyford is home to MasterCard's only Europe-based technology hub. As you mentioned, we have over 700 employees and we're growing rapidly. You might actually have seen us in the news earlier this year. We made an announcement that over the next 3 to 5 years, we'll be hiring another 1,500 roles here in Dublin. And indeed, we'll be creating a purpose-built campus in Sandyford's South County. So I was asked today to say a few words, to give you a little bit of insight into what it is that my colleagues are doing in our European Tech Hub, and also to share some of our plans for our new South County campus. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about MasterCard. Now, you may already know that we are a leader in global payments and a cutting-edge technology company. We operate the world's fastest payments processing network, connecting consumers, merchants, businesses and governments right across the world. We were founded over 50 years ago, but our company today has really evolved and changed a huge amount, as you might imagine. Today, our network processes over 90 billion transactions per year. But to be honest, you probably knew a lot of that because many of you probably already have a MasterCard in your wallet. But what you might not know is that the MasterCard of today has evolved exponentially. So our remit goes far beyond payments technology today. We have leveraged our expertise in designing payment ecosystems and networks. In some ways, we call ourselves the original network business. And we've leveraged that experience to look at new technologies, artificial intelligence, augmented and virtual reality, distributed ledger technologies, payment security, cyber security, and so much more, to build solutions for a range of end users, fintechs, retailers, manufacturers, distributors, small businesses, gig workers, consumers, you name it. Today, our technology goes far beyond the financial transaction to conceivably any interaction between consumers, businesses, and governments. Today, we are truly a technology company building the future of commerce. And I'm so proud that Dublin, and again, Sandyford, is playing such a strategically important role in MasterCard's global tech hub strategy and indeed in shaping the future of commerce. The environment that we've created in our Dublin Tech Hub is a vibrant, multicultural environment. So we attract passionate technologists from all corners of the planet. And it's their deep expertise in a range of technologies, open APIs, cybersecurity, payment security, a wide range of emerging technologies that is enabling us to play such a key role in MasterCard's global strategy. Indeed, we are home to the MasterCard Labs headquarters. MasterCard Labs is our global R&D hub, looking at the future of commerce from a fresh perspective. So it's not just lip service when we say that innovation truly is in our DNA. But I thought the best way to bring that to life to you was to show you a couple of examples of the types of products and innovations that my colleagues back at Base are working on. Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to share just two examples, but obviously we are working on a wide range of innovations. So I'm going to start with a fraud detection state-of-the-art technology, which is our decision management platform. This platform analyzes 65,000 transactions per second. That's on par with Google searches and about twice the number of tweets per second. It leverages 13 AI technologies and 1,000 machine learning variables. It runs multiple models on each transaction, and it does that within 50 milliseconds and to a 99.99999% availability. That's 5 nines if you were counting. So we're pretty proud of this technology. It really is state of the art in terms of accurate fraud detection and also decreasing false positives. But it's not just us that think this is a great technology. We were really honored to be named amongst Forbes CIO Innovation Award winners recently for this platform. And that's something that, it's great that our colleagues back in our Dublin Tech Hub get to see that reward for the hard work they've put in. They're working with some of our colleagues and some of our other tech hubs as well on this one. And in recent years and in recent months even, we definitely need a bigger trophy cabinet because we are, my colleagues' incredible work is sort of gathering awards for these type of innovations. For instance, the AI awards recently. So that's one example of a product. I'm going to give you another example of quite a different product that we're really proud was conceived and built right here in Dublin. And that is our provenance solution leveraging our proprietary blockchain. So we're incredibly proud that MasterCard's distributed ledger was built right here in Dublin. And one of the use cases we're leveraging that for is that of identifying the provenance of goods and services. So counterfeiting is becoming a much bigger issue these days. According to one report, the counterfeiting industry, if that's a word, will be worth $1.82 trillion this year. So it's no wonder that consumers care so much more about making sure that their products are authentic, are sustainable, and are safe. But that's pretty difficult because, as you know, supply chains are complex. And that's where our provenance solution comes in. We're able to attach a digital identity to a product or service. And leveraging our distributed ledger, we are able to trace that product from its origin through to its sale point with irrefutable traceability. So we've partnered with Envision for one particular use case, which is in the food sector. It's that of fish. So we're able to, using our technology, trace salmon from being caught in the seas in Alaska to ending up on a supermarket shelf. For consumers, they're able to scan the packaging, a QR code on the packaging, and they're able to see that salmon's journey, I suppose, from the sea to the package they're holding. But of course, there is applicability for so many different industries here. Food, agriculture, luxury goods, cosmetics, healthcare, you name it. In fact, when we think about the current situation we're living in, back in spring, the US Customs seized about 10 million fraudulent masks. again, you can see the value of a provenance technology solution in this environment. So again, those are just two examples of innovations being built and developed in our Dublin Tech Hub. There are many more. We will be opening the doors to our new campus in the late spring, and we will have a state-of-the-art innovation showcase there. And if anybody is interested in coming and visiting, obviously government guidelines permitting, we'd be delighted to show you a few more of our innovations. But I was asked today to speak a little bit about why MasterCard selected Ireland to be our European technology hub, and indeed why Sandyford. So starting first with why Ireland. When I think about the tech sector in Ireland, I think about the words of our Taoiseach, who's obviously also Minister for Trade, Enterprise and Employment. I think I've got that in the right order, and that's Leo Varadkar. Mr. Varadkar has been quoted many times as saying that Ireland is well on the way to becoming the tech capital of Europe, with Dublin at its core. And I think you only need to look around events like this to see that really is true. We have an incredible tech ecosystem here. According to the IDA, we have over 1,200 of the large technology companies here. We also have an absolutely thriving and very exciting technology startup ecosystem here as well. And of course, all of this has led to really strong credentials. We are, as a nation, as a country, becoming a centre of excellence for cybersecurity, for instance. And of course, given the industry we're in, we're very involved in that community. The IDA has sort of branded us, Ireland, the AI island, and that's very true. We have incredible credentials, and there's some really interesting things happening in the AI world, both with some of the large technology, the companies that are based here, but also some really exciting startups. And indeed, we've built a really strong reputation for software engineering in general. And what all of that has led to is a really excellent talent pool. And I really mean it when I say I am constantly overwhelmed by the level of talent, by the strength of talent that we have in our Dublin Tech Hub. And it's not just me. When we go back just over a decade ago, MasterCard only had about 36 people in Dublin. I joined in 2013 and we had about 140 people. And as we mentioned, we're well over 700 now and hiring another 1,500 over the next 3 to 5 years. What happened in that time? There were strategic changes, but Ireland was chosen for a large degree because of the strength of our talent. Our execs, when they bought programs here, started to see how passionate our community here is for learning, for taking on new challenges, how productive the quality of output, and indeed the wonderful community spirit and culture and diversity that we've built up. We actually have 48 nationalities at last count. It's probably more than that now, to be honest. And that's not unique to MasterCard's Dublin Tech Hub. Many technology companies in Dublin have that same diversity. Of course, diversity is crucial for innovation. And part of the reason for that is our unique geographic position. At the heart of Europe, and let's be honest, now Ireland is the only English-speaking country, or our first language is English, arguably, if you're in the Gaeltacht, but English-speaking country in the EU. So that is why we're attracting talent from right across the globe. So it really is clear that Ireland is a great location for high quality and high value talent. But when you factor into that, the comparison in terms of costs with, some of the other major tech company capitals like New York, we really are a medium cost center for high value talent. And you factor in as well many of the government support structures and incentives, and it becomes a very enticing proposition indeed. So that's why I suppose we're in Ireland. But what about Sandyford? Why did we specifically choose Sandyford? Well, look, first of all, we were here. We have been in Sandyford for the past number of years, as many of you know, based out of the Mountain View building in Central Park. But when we made the decision to expand by 1,500 people and to create our own purpose-built campus, we looked at offices across different areas in Dublin. And we really went back to basics, and we made a thoughtful decision as to where we wanted our campus to be. And we selected Sandyford. There are a number of reasons for that. First of all, Sandyford is a super location when it comes to talent acquisition and talent retention. And that's because it is so accessible. Today, we have employees living in many different suburbs of Dublin, in Kildare, in Wicklow, and further afield. We all know that the cost of housing in city centre is pretty high. So most people don't live or rent in the city centre. Most people live outside of that. And our location is really accessible. Our employees tell us that our location helps them with their work-life balance. Maybe they might drop their kids off en route to work and pick them up en route back. It works for them. And that creates a stickiness, because we don't want employees who are coming to us for 1 or 2 years. We want employees who are going to be able to build long careers, who are going to be able to move into different roles themselves and grow their own expertise as they stay with us and add value over the long term. And of course, we also selected Sandyford because it is part of a thriving tech ecosystem. The very fact that the Sandyford Business District is so successful, and even this innovation forum in its own right, shows you how thriving this tech ecosystem is. And many of the companies who are based here, and indeed who are tuning in, are companies who we would partner with on various technology initiatives. Indeed, I'd highlight our next door neighbour, Microsoft. Earlier this year, we did announce a global partnership with Microsoft. So we're in good company. The third thing, and I think this is really important, we didn't just want an office. We wanted to create a purpose-built campus that meets the holistic needs of our employees. And South County offered us that opportunity, and that's a very different offering. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the times we're in, because I firmly believe that in the future of work, once our world navigates beyond this pandemic, the office still has a really important role to play. When I think back to March, and even, let's be honest, to tomorrow, when the next lockdown is coming, everybody, apart from critical workers, all technology sector workers, were mandated to work from home. Choice was taken off the table. Flexibility was taken off the table. Now, some people found that suited them. Maybe they were lucky enough to have a home office, to have peace and quiet, so they can work in a focused manner. And maybe they felt that they were saving time on their commute. But for everybody who celebrated the mandate to work from home, many more lamented it. The learning is that we are all different and we have all got different circumstances. People living by themselves felt isolated, and they felt they needed that office environment for collaboration and human connection. People living in bustling flat shares felt the opposite. They had no space, and maybe they were working around a kitchen table together. And again, they felt they needed that safe environment to work from. There are many reasons, and you all know those reasons. So I believe the future of work, the foundation of the future of work will be choice, will be flexibility. Technology will be the enabler, but the office will still have a pivotal role to play. The office of the future will be an uplifting, inspiring, and positive destination that nurtures continuous learning, collaboration, innovation, co-creation, wellness initiatives, and also nurtures community and culture. As we plan the fit out of our new campus, the first building is due to open its doors late spring. We are thoughtfully planning every element, and we are taking on board the learnings of the times that we are living through. So we're planning everything from what materials we're using in the fit out to smart uses of technology to create contactless experiences. For our meeting rooms and our collaboration areas, we're making technology work harder to build the bridge between the physical and the virtual world, such that you can have that immersive experience and such that it can be an equitable experience. Indeed, that's a design imperative. In planning for our new One South County and indeed Two South County campus, we are building a safe, inclusive, and equitable design for all of our employees. And I think that's really important. So I hope that's given you a bit of a whistle-stop overview of what it is, what the nature of work that we do in our European Tech Hub right here in Dublin is. And also I hope it's given you some sort of a sense of our plans for our new campus in South County, which is really exciting. As I say, assuming construction stays on track, we are planning to open our doors in late spring. And if any of you would like to come and look at our state-of-the-art innovation showcase, which will be within that building, do please get in touch a little bit nearer the time, and we'd be very delighted to welcome you. And thank you again for the honour of asking us to talk at this event.
Sarah Cunningham, Vice President at MasterCard Dublin Tech Hub. Thank you very much. You'll be delighted to hear I'm one of those people that has a MasterCard. And the building One South County, I'm one of the lucky few that have been in it. And it is an extraordinary building. I wouldn't describe it as your typical office. I know it's nowhere near fit out, but I'm looking forward to hopefully getting an invite, hint, hint, when it's ready. I also wouldn't mind working for Microsoft either. It sounds like a great place to work. You mentioned provenance, and that technology. It's worth pointing out, I suppose. I've come across that term before, but in relation to paintings and antiques, it's been around for years. But what you've done is you've brought it, you turned it into technology, where now people can, I suppose, you gave the salmon example, tracking from let's say you call it from birth to plate or whatever it may be. It allows people make, I suppose, informed decisions around purchases, which is really important these days.
Absolutely, yeah. It's an incredible technology, and I think the level of innovation that my colleagues back at base have shown really is strong. And as you say, absolutely, those are very valid use cases and important use cases for this technology. The antiques industry, the jewelry industry, the art industry. All of those industries have had challenges in terms of being able to track the provenance of their goods and services. One that's been, I suppose, quite well known is that of diamonds, right? So yes, right now the use for this is on the Alaskan salmon, but there are many use cases for this really fantastic technology.
You mentioned, I suppose, like the ecosystem around Sandyford, and we do have an absolute embarrassment of talent. When we compare it to other areas, within Ireland, like we've UCD, Nova UCD, Smurfit, IADT, all surrounding Sandyford, and it's very important to note. Without industry, there's no requirement for this embarrassment of talent, and without the talent, there's no requirement for industry, I suppose. So that, I suppose, that was one of the key reasons, or one of the many reasons why you chose Sandyford, to be able to tap into that resource that's available.
Absolutely, and the Irish education system is truly incredible. I read a stat that where I think it's on the IDA website. I hope I'm not wrong here, but I think it was 6th in the world in terms of our education system. And then going on to third level education, we were the first country to have an industry-driven machine learning PhD. Indeed, we have strong ties with all of the universities here, including sponsoring ML Labs, which is a new machine learning PhD with a number of universities collaborating. And we're so lucky to have access to such strong talent. And it's not just in Ireland. Again, thinking about our unique geographic position here in Ireland, we get access to talent from right across the world because Ireland is an attractive place to live right now. It really is. And for young people, and one of the things that we're probably proudest of is for the past number of years now, 90% of our interns have returned as graduates. And indeed, our latest graduate intake has just arrived back from their final year. It was an unusual final year for them. But I've enjoyed catching up with them and welcoming them back into, I suppose, our MasterCard family back here in Dublin.
Okay. I'm right in saying that MasterCard invented contactless payment. Is that correct?
I will take it. I will double check it, but yes. But look, what I think is really important is that, very early on in the crisis, we did increase the contactless limits. And I think contactless technologies are so important now, My colleague Sonia Gilon has been in the press recently talking about the importance of buying local during this time, and indeed contactless enables that to become a safer experience. So it really is an important technology at these times.
Absolutely. I think we were on that path anyway, but COVID, like many things, it has accelerated what was going to happen in the sort of a longer term future. It's now short term. So cash, it's been discussed before that cash will be a thing of the past, but we're seeing it live. It's happening at the moment. Some independent shops, some larger chains have decided they will no longer accept cash, and there's no haggling or debating it when you get into the shop. And one of the benefits is, cash can be dirty. It also, there's a cost to the business as well in terms of holding that cash and having it transacted in the bank. So contactless payments are here to stay. What's your vision? When will we see cash disappear altogether? The paper, the coin. When will it leave our pockets?
So, gosh, that's a really good question. I think it's worth noting that on a global basis, right? So, outside of Ireland, and we are a global company, 80% of the world's transactions today are actually still cash. Now, one of the things that we focus on very closely is financial inclusion. So I mentioned that Dublin is the headquarters for MasterCard labs globally. We actually have labs in a number of countries across the globe, including Nairobi. Our lab in Nairobi is focused specifically on solving for financial inclusion. And so solving for the 2 billion people in our world who are still without mainstream financial tools, right? And so that's something we have a number of very interesting and relevant innovations coming out of our lab, focused on financial inclusion. And I think that's really important because, cash has many other issues. And of course, fraud is higher, unfortunately, with cash. So I don't have an answer as to when we'll get that 80% down to 0%, but I do know that we are working very hard on it. And obviously, security is number one concern for us.
Yeah, we're definitely on our way to a cashless society. Sarah Cunningham, Vice President, MasterCard Dublin Tech Hub, thank you so much for your contribution. It's great to see MasterCard continue to invest in Ireland and especially in Sandyford Business District.